Alright, welcome back to Code Veronica. In the last video, we picked up the 3 proofs that we need, and we're going to go ahead and put them back in the area that they need to go in. But of course, we're going to have about 18 different loading screens before then. This is the reason that I don't like this part of the game. It's because, alright, A, it's Rockfort Island, which we've already gone through as Claire. You know, we've pretty much explored every area. I mean, there's a few different rooms that Chris goes in that Claire can't, like this one. But overall, it's just a very condensed, like, Cliff Notes version of Rockfort Island. And, you know, Chris has to do so much backtracking, and because the area is so small, it's just loading screen, loading screen, loading screen, loading screen, a little bit of gameplay, loading screen. It gets really ridiculous. What is this? I'll take him, why not? I don't really have many uses for the grenade launcher anymore. I don't feel too bad about leaving the shotgun in this area, because as long as you're good at the game and dodging the lasers that Wesker has set up, you really shouldn't, you know, be too hurting for the shotgun. Also, I looked up what the difference between the normal Glock at the beginning of playing as Chris and what the upgrades do. This guy, by the way, is here because I set off an alarm the last time I was through here. So, that is why he is here. So don't worry about, like, random hunters appearing there. That was completely my fault. But the Glock is exactly what I said it is. It just, it improves the power in the damage and the range, apparently, which I've not seen a difference in the range at all. I'd say Claire's is more useful, her upgrade, because it at least does something that you can see, like the changes, where it shoots like 3 bullets at a time. I might not like that because it wastes ammo, but at least it does something. So yeah, all that for a switch to make another hidden entrance just openable. I'm sure Chris, if he knew that entrance was there, could have just pushed that bed or whatever that is. But, nope, these characters are not smart. Never have been, never will be. You better gear up, you better get some herbs and some weapons, because we're about to fight the most difficult boss in this entire game. You know what? No. I say the most difficult boss in the entire series. If not in any video game ever. You may think I'm being sarcastic, but I'm not. This is completely serious. So there's the halberd we need. And you might remember a while ago, Claire accidentally let out a baby albinoid. This is the adult albinoid, and it still looks like a vagina penis monster. This is the most pathetic boss in the entire series because it hurts by spewing electricity in the water, and obviously that will only hurt if you're in the water. So here's a hint, don't go in the water, shoot it from up here, it can literally never damage you. It might take a little bit, and it might be a little bit of an ammo sink, but it will never hurt you, and that's the big important part. Technically, you can go in this area, grab the thing you need, and leave without killing the albinoid, but we ain't doing that. If we don't have to take damage, we're not going to. And yeah, I cut a little bit, because it is a time sink, like I said. It is a little difficult to know exactly where to aim to kill it. gonna finish it off pretty quickly here. If you use the machine pistols, I'd say that's your best bet, because you're gonna have to sink a lot of ammo into this, and besides this fight, I don't have a single use for the machine pistols. So go ahead and do that. Use those guys. I'm pretty much out of ammo for those, but it does not matter because, as I said, I have no further use for them. Here's a point where I was actually starting to run out of handgun bullets a little bit, but don't worry. We'll be fine. And if we really have to, we'll switch over to the shotgun as our main weapon. So yeah, this is what you could have done. You could have just waited for the albinoid to be nowhere near you, run, grab this thing, and then get out of here. But where's the fun in that? So what we have to do is combine the Clement and the thing, and then you'll get the halberd key, which allows us to get into Alfred's secret room. And remember, in this next area, you can just run past the spiders. It's not really that bad. As David Bowie would say, "Where are the spiders?" There's a little David Bowie humor for you there. Ow, get out of here. As soon as you exit this room, run. Because, there's a camera? Why is there a hunter? I don't remember setting off another thing. Maybe that was the same hunter. I never actually killed it. I don't know, because there's no... I wouldn't have gone back there. That's very odd why that hunter was there. But anyway, we need to re-grab our shotgun. Well, actually, it's kind of necessary. You actually have to take your shotgun back. Yeah, you cannot leave Rockfort Island without taking your shotgun, so never mind. I was going to suggest, yeah, make sure you take it before you go, but you can't. You can't not take it. You cannot forget it. So this is it. This is the last little bit in Rockfort Island. We will never be coming back here. Once we get up this ladder, we'll be exactly where we need to be, and Rockfort Island shall be no more. It's a good area. It's one of my favorite areas in a Resident Evil game, but the next part of the game, I think, is much better. Just because there's not as much backtracking. There's still backtracking. It's a Resident Evil game, but it's not as bad. So yeah, we are now on the Antarctic base with Chris Redfield, which means we are one step closer to reuniting the Redfields once and for all. And yeah, how about that? They actually showed Chris using a skill that the series always forgets he has, which is piloting airplanes. Because I do believe he's ex-Air Force. And yeah, it's something very rarely that the Resident Evil series remembers that Chris can do. The only times he ever flies a plane, I do believe, is this game and 6, where he flies a VTOL both times. So yeah, those little tentacle things, those are the things that we saw in the cutscene that took down Claire and Steve's vehicle. Just take a few shots at them and then they'll go away and they'll never come back. And yeah, since, I guess when, I don't know why there's water here and then it like froze. I would assume it's because of the, when they were escaping through the drill, a bunch of water came in. That's the only thing I can think of. And yeah, this place has gone through some disarray since we left it as Claire. You'll remember this guy was in that little cage before, and now he is free, so we can grab whatever was in there before that we could not with Claire. However, that still does not mean that Chris can use it, because this game... Man, this is a shit show. This room may be the worst room. I think that was the most I've gotten hurt in this entire game so far. So there should be a duralinium case in the cage somewhere. And there it is. We cannot open that as Chris does not have the lockpick. So I don't think there's really much else to do in here, so we're just gonna leave now. Thankfully, some of the annoying things about the Antarctic base are gone now. Like the moth guys, we will never run into those moth enemies again. Because I guess they died because of the cold? I don't know. So in here there's an item that we need, and you can see there's some zombies in the ice there. In the ice! What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age! So this is above where we were before with the crank, so we just need to take the crank, or the handle, or whatever the game wants to call it today. But of course nothing can ever just be that easy, can it? I do not believe there's anything too different about these zombies, so I don't think they're any harder to kill. It looks like they made a big deal about those guys, but it's really not like anything. You don't have to kill them. It's a waste of bullets. Don't do it. So there's a little trick I'm going to tell you about when we get to it. It's very useful, and probably a lot of people would probably not realize that this is a thing, but down here, you'll remember that those moths were in that corridor down here to our left. Now, we never have to go in that corridor to our left, ever, as Chris. Never, ever, ever. It's the corridor right if you were to just take a left right here. They would introduce a new enemy if you went in that corridor down there. It's a combination of the moth enemies and zombies. They'll poison you, they'll do all that stuff, they'll always be populating this area right before the save area. Now, you don't ever have to encounter them if you never go down that hallway, because the cutscene never activates and they never show up. At least that's what I've found. Maybe there's a way that it happened and I just got very lucky, but you don't ever have to see them. So if you always want like a clear pathway to your save room, just go ahead and don't go down that corridor. I'd say the only reason to go down that corridor is if you somehow got poisoned and needed the blue herbs. And now we've taken a stupid little paperweight that says AA on it, which I would assume means Alfred Ashford or Alcoholics Anonymous or I don't know. But yeah, we've pretty much entered into what I would consider the end game of this. We've still got a little bit longer to go. I'd say maybe like an hour and a half or so of the game, but we're very close to the end. A lot of notes. Too many notes.